Now, to prevent premature failure of this bearing in the snowblower, I removed it and put a grease fitting in it to grease this plain bearing from the inside. Turns out the screw they had in here was a plug for the oil they put in here at the factory. They have a wick inside, and the oil must soak through the sintered bronze bearing and lube the shaft. But obviously that'll wear out over time when the oil runs out, and it's a lot of load and speed on this bearing for a plain bearing, so I wanted to be able to grease it, so I took it apart and put the fitting in. So once it's seasoned, I'll shoot it with grease, and it should last much longer, if not the life of the snowblower, as long as I have it anyway. I just have to get it all back together. Make sure it takes grease here also. And another thing I was able to do was when I cut these bearing bolts, I cut them loose. They just dropped down on top of the impeller carriage bolts, and they stayed in place. I was able to get a magnet and pull them back up and get it back together that way. I didn't have to take the auger bolts off and bearings and all that. Drop the shaft down. I was able to just keep the snowblower upright like this and get it back together, so that worked out. So now to grease it every year, I'll just pull this bottom cover and give it a shot. That'll be it. As you can see, now I got grease coming through that bearing. Drilled a hole through the bronze bearing. So now the grease will get all the way to the shaft. Now we'll get it back together. I almost forgot I had drilled out these auger bearings too. Put a little hole in them so I can shoot grease in there with the needle gun. Did both of those too. That'll keep those going.